Hey guys, so this is probably going to be my first and last review of anything Roblox or game related. I have no interest in pursuing this any further. I only want to get my opinion out there. Do not witch hunt or harass any individual mentioned or shown in this video. That is not the point I'm trying to get across. Throughout the course of this video, I'm going to be going through each aspect of Limbus Game and detail why I believe it may be affecting the game negatively, and how the community, devs, or game could improve in order to hopefully help the game succeed in the future. I'm not a game developer, I'm not a coder, I'm not a programmer, I'm not a modeler, I'm not an artist, I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I have the utmost respect for you people, I think you guys are great, but from a community standpoint, there are changes that definitely do need to be made. And I've asked several people about this, their opinions on the topic, and they've all kind of aligned with what I'm going to say throughout this video. And I once again just want to say, please, for the love of God, do not harass anyone shown or mentioned in the video. These are hardworking people, I'm sure, and I have respect for them. I only want to detail what I believe. So, one important factor of Limbus Game that 100% needs to be addressed would be the balancing of the game. The balancing, and especially of the last few updates, being R-Corp, Nuna Violet, and the addition of U-Branch Sinclair and Cybranch Rodion, has just absolutely gone down the drain. And the problem is that it's not just a recent issue either. The devs have frequently gotten feedback on the balancing of the game for basically every update in the game's history, and that's just going to come as a result of really any game's balancing. There's always going to be people that don't like it, but there have been some glaring issues that the devs do tend to ignore, and I want to save that for a little bit later into the section, as it's not nearly as significant as the current state of the game. As of this recent update, we've gotten Uclair and Cy Rodion, the first two Heishao pack ever added to Limbus Game, and the general feedback on them is not good. And it's not to say that, some of it isn't just people getting acquainted with the new IDs. There's always some sort of learning period to see how you counter an ID, but there are a lot of glaring issues with these kits. For example, Uclair. Some things I can definitely note that are massive issues with his kit. Low cooldown dash M1s, little to no end lag on the entirety of his kit, S2 doing an insane amount of damage due to the reuse, Magnus completely invalidating blocking his skills, Blood Flame's buffs being on the exact same turn as the counter is used rather than when the status activates next turn, and Blood Flame being given when the counter is used rather than when it's clashed with or activated. And on the other hand, we have Cy Rodion, who is equally, if not stronger, than Uclair.
Oh, that's truly funny.
Yeah, I think that clip speaks a lot for itself, doesn't it? And beyond just clips alone, there are actual detailable issues with her kit, such as insanely good poise gain, Deathrite Venom never going away and serving as a combo extender, coin power up for having poise, M2 application of Deathrite alongside combo extending, the ridiculous first M1. And on the other side of things, we have stuff like Middle Sinclair's M2, which is not good. But before I go into why these issues are present and what could be done to change them, there are a few that have been present for a long time. Nuna Violet, which released not too long ago, came with the release of 3 new IDs, and all 3 of them had major issues on release. I'm not going to go into detail like I did with U-Branch Sinclair and Cybranch Rodion, because I really don't think anybody wants to hear me rant about the problems with every kit. But to sum it up, Red Eye's Penitence was busted, Lantern Dawn was somewhat busted, and Magic Bullet Otis kinda sucked. The update before that came with 3 R-Corp IDs, R-Corp Heathcliff, R-Corp Honglu, and R-Corp Merso. All 3 of these IDs also had gigantic issues with their balancing. And 2 months prior to that, Yuri was also released, and she also had major flaws in release. And yes, many things are going to be found out that they wouldn't be in regular testing just due to the sheer amount of people that are playing on that ID. That's kind of just how it is. The problem stems from the fact that beyond bugs, balancing should be pretty okay upon release. There shouldn't be any ridiculous overpowered or underpowered IDs on release, because it takes common sense to balance them. It doesn't take a crowd of 100. Heck, it probably doesn't even take a crowd of 10. It takes maybe 2 or 3 people talking with each other to balance out an ID pretty decently. However, that leads me on to my next point. And as much as I do respect them, a lot of the flaws of Limbus Game are as a result of the developers. Sure, okay, it might be a passion project. It might just not be of great significance to the developers. But there is a community here that really wants to see this game grow and thrive, as it is, in my personal opinion, probably one of the best, if not the best, project moving games on the platform. It has a lot of love put into it, but it almost feels like there's a sense of negligence from the devs. Quite frequently, the devs like to joke or ignore any feedback. Not any feedback, but feedback in general. They'll often attribute it to being a loud minority, or say that it was intentional, and it just feels like, you know, they're making fun of their community when the community just says what they think. And as a developer, I personally believe you should probably put your community's opinion on an equal level, if not higher, than yours, simply due to the fact that they're the ones actually consuming your game. They're the player base that keeps you afloat. And I really do want to see this game thrive. But when I, a player, personally ask the dev, why did you add Middle Sinclair's M2, only to be met with a, because we wanted to, how am I supposed to feel about that? And you could just say that I'm just another guy sitting at his computer talking about Roblox games, and that my opinion is just as invalid as anybody else's simply because they have a skill issue or something of the sort. But I don't really care about the attention as nearly as much as I do as wanting to see this game actually become something great, because it does have the potential to become something good. It's the effort of the developers that ends up putting it down. These last few updates, they have the potential to be good. The balancing, menial little things that come as an afterthought to all the hard work the developers put in, end up screwing over the entire rest of the product. The animations, the effects, the coding. I really respect you guys for that. You guys did wonderfully, and you guys have been doing wonderfully. But please, pay more attention to your community. We also want to see this game be good, because we enjoy playing the game. And I don't think anyone will care if you just add a dev spec or two, so as long as you're actually balancing your game for the public. I mean, after all, your community stuck around this long, I'm sure they just want to see the game get better. And even if there's, you know, a couple arguments here and there, most of the feedback I've seen is just generally wanting to see the game improve. That's what the community wants. But it doesn't matter how much feedback the devs get if they just don't take it into consideration. Not much we can do beyond that, right? Thank you guys for watching. I don't know how big this is gonna get. I don't even know if the Limbus Game developers are gonna see it. Mita, Zerx, if you guys see this, please take something of what I said into consideration. You guys can make fun of the video, or like my little stutters, or whatever you want. But I want you guys to focus on the content. I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert. I'm just giving what I believe could help the game be something a little bit better than it is right now. Because I like the game. The game is great, right? That's why I'm making this video. So, if nothing else, please just pay a little bit more attention to your community. We also want the game to thrive, and we're not gonna, like, I'm not saying push yourselves to push out an update every week, but at the very bare minimum, take what we have into consideration, host some more polls, hire some more staff, do anything but just don't overwork yourselves. Okay, that's number one. You guys are already working hard, I know that. I just want the game to be a little bit better.
I could have been.
Do you think I'll stop funny?
What is happening? Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Dude, I hear him screaming for help. Holy crap.
I can't even blame him. There's 9 of them.